Hey there, good peeps. Sammy here with another look at an indie game for you. This time we're looking at a game called Bionic Bay. Now, this game, what we have here is a 2D physics-based platformer in a similar kind of vein to a cross between Ori and Limbo, if you're familiar with those games. Amazing 2D platformers those games are, but the reasons why I liken this game to those two is because you've got the kind of the general dark moody setting or from Limbo, like in this game, and also kind of like when you see more of the graphics in the background with the layers and everything, it kind of reminds me of Ori as well, which is definitely not a bad thing because they're both fantastic games, as I said before. Anyway, this is Bionic Bay, and eventually throughout the game you'll gain abilities and use them to your advantage, which are very physics based in mind. You'll see when we get there. It starts off very slow and moody paced until you get to move a lot faster, which you'll do very shortly here. You'll see me falling over quite a lot, which is very physics based as well. This game is developed by a very small handful of people, about 3 people in total, I think. And you can see that they've worked very hard on this project. I will be having a link in the description as to where you can find this on your Steam page and wishlist it if you wish to do so, and also you can download the demo and play through that yourselves, which I'm showing you here today. This is a demo preview of the game, and it is still available from what I can see for you to download yourselves if you want to give it a try, which I fully advise that you do if you're into this kind of game. And there's me gaining some kind of ability there. I think this is now I can sort of run and jump a lot higher and run a lot faster thanks to that, as you'll see right now. There you go, I'm actually running now and I can jump really high. It feels really great, to be honest. I played this with an Xbox 360 controller. In my opinion, you have to play platformers with controllers rather than keyboards because they're such a natural fit for it, but play it with keyboard if you so wish to do so. I'm sure it'll be great with that too. But it just felt superb and very tight with my Xbox 360 controller. And yeah, I was very happy to play through this. I'm very much into platformers. I grew up playing platformers from a very young age. I started with the NES playing Super Mario Brothers. I fell in love with that platformer style of game from the very get-go of when I started gaming at about 4 years old or something. And I've loved them ever since. And I'm always willing to discover new platformers these days. It's great to see a lot of indie developers develop a lot of platformers. You'll still see some big AAA ones come out, and you'll still see new Mario games and Sonic games and the like, but it's just really great to see something unique and like a unique spin and unique take on platformers like we see here. This is where you have to perform a roll jump. So if you're familiar with the Donkey Kong Country Returns games, in particular Tropical Freeze, which is one of my favourite platforms, you roll jump there as Donkey Kong, which is just a great feeling, and you get to do that in this game. So I was super excited to learn that fact that you get to roll jump in this game, which makes you just jump for much longer than a normal jump does, and it's really great. As you can see now, I talked about those layers in the background, which kind of reminds me of Ori. Here you can see some fantastic backdrops with layers of aesthetic in the background, which are very pleasing to the eye, very reminiscent of Ori games, which I really like, but still holding that dark and moody atmosphere that games like Limbo have. Lots of conveyor belts going on as well, similar to Limbo, and you've got machinery going on. Also, something that's kind of similar to Limbo, in my opinion, is the fact that there's not, from what I can see in Bionic Bay, there's not too many enemies, in a sense. It's more all about how you sort of navigate through the world and, get through puzzles and stuff like that. It's very similar in that sense. So again, I think this is kind of more like Limbo, but it's a really fantastic one. I was very excited to start this game when I first saw the trailer release a little while ago, and I always thought I wanted to give this game a try. So I was glad to see a demo was available for me to get going, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing where it takes us in the full game. You can die from a height. That is just what I did there. If you do get full damage, it's not really, you don't have a health bar or anything like that, but if you fall from a great height, you will die. Very skillfully avoiding those barrels there, as you can see, which This takes me back to how much of a pro at gaming I am, which is really not true, by the way. So, no pro at game here, but I do love to discover my indie games. I've always been a fan of indie games and indie titles that are developed by a smaller team who are willing to take some risks and pour their heart and soul into their projects. I've always loved that, and that's why I always like looking at new indie games to see what's new and what's about and what's occurring in the world of indies. And this is no exception by any means. If you're a fan of decent art style, then look no further than this. I love the physics as well when you get like pushed around and you roll down hills and you bump and grind your way through all sorts of platforming stuff. It's really, really fun and really cool. You'll also find a lot of challenges in the way that you have to perform certain puzzles and get through certain obstacles. The main hook of this game is the main ability that you get in the demo. I'm not sure how many abilities you can get in the whole game, but the main one for sure, the selling point, is the fact that you get to swap your location with an object, which could be like a barrel or it could be like a large pipe. So you get to swap places with that so that you can help it defend where you are or get across an obstacle or a hole or something. You'll see what I mean when I get that ability, but it's very much the focal point of your abilities in this game. That's me messing up terribly there, but I do that a lot in games. I cut down on the amount of times you see me die in the demo because, to focus on more of the gameplay and focus on video length as well. I decided to cut out a lot of the times I die. It did happen a lot of times, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. It's one of those games where it's like, trial and error. You will die at certain points to be able to learn from it and push forward. A bit like Dark Souls. Obviously, this game is nothing like Dark Souls. I'm just saying, you kind of have to die just to see what went wrong so that you can learn from it and go forward. Most games, to be honest, do the same sort of approach. But anyway, yes, you'll have fun progressing through this demo. You'll see the environments change like that, the lovely colours. You've got a lot of green going on here, stuff that's floating around. You have to navigate your way upwards, right, left, down, jump across things, jump on top of things, move out the way of missiles. Yep, that happens too. Look out for things that blow up. As you can see, I had no idea that was a mine or a bomb or anything, and I found myself jumping out of my skin the moment that I hit that. But it's fine, like I said, we learn and we move on and we make sure it doesn't happen again. Okay, but yeah, you'll have a great time navigating through this demo and seeing all the backdrops and all the different kind of art styles going for it, and just the way that it feels as playing the game with its physics base and using a controller, especially, like I said, it feels so complete using a controller for a game like this. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing what else they have to throw into the mix. It's very much set in the same kind of style where it's sort of very dark and mysterious. I wonder if they open it up to be a bit more colourful in the full game, and maybe you go sort of outside rather than this kind of cave setting type situation we're in now. Maybe you do. Not an issue if you don't, but it'll be nice to see a lot more different styles of art in the background. Here's a great trick that you have to learn to do. You have to do a roll jump followed by a dive, which just gets you that little bit further forward, which will save your life in many occasions throughout this game, not just in this demo, but the whole game. I'm sure you're going to need to learn how to master all of your abilities that you get to do. I've no idea really what the storyline is of this game, by the way. I don't really play games for their story. It's predominantly about the gameplay for me. That did not disappoint me in the slightest. I had to dive back there because I realised I was well out of my depth. But I don't really know much about the story, what's going on here. I know it's called Bionic Bay, and so I take it the abilities you get are in some sort of bionic form. But I don't know why, what, who the enemy is, what all the cards at play here. I don't know what they are. But maybe it's something we'll find out and will be easy to learn throughout the full gameplay. Yeah, you'll have a lot of puzzles to solve as well. Look at this. You've got to make sure you go at the right time. I should have gone then because the air thing is pushing down, so that those hot lava-y type bits of liquid wouldn't have hurt me. So you will have to figure stuff like this out, but it's fine. They're kind of very light-hearted puzzles. It's not very, from what I've seen in the game so far, it's not massively, they're not massive head scratchers, these puzzles. They're very light, that you should be able to figure out in 3 or 4 attempts max. Very much like Limbo, it's the same sort of thing as that. I'm pretty sure that's quite a big influence on this game. I could be completely wrong, but it really does remind me of that game a lot. Yeah, the feel of running and jumping, and roll jumping especially, this game has got a really great addictive feel to it. I had no idea what to do at this point, by the way, till I approached it for a second time. You actually have to jump onto those flashing little orange lights, kind of like little stars going upwards. Pretty cool. I had no idea about that. I had to figure that out, so it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool thing. Yeah, and the lighting, especially in this game, does hit you for 10 here and there at times. You can see they've made a lot of effort in the art direction in this game. So fair play to the development team. Like I said, very small development team. I'm looking forward to seeing what else they can do. Speaking of outside, we're now outside of the cave, and it's still got that. It's still kind of like a very dark undertone, but a real sort of deep, orangey yellow, bright, almost like too bright that you have to squint kind of look to it outside, but still like a kind of like a dark foreground because of how bright it is in the background. So it's still holding up on that dark essence, but with a very bright backdrop there. Really, really cool art style, great lighting for a game like this. But I think, yeah, from what you've seen so far of this demo gameplay, I think you probably already made your minds up whether it's for you or not. But like I said, if you're fans of games like this and Ori and stuff like that, I think you should give this a go. The 2D platformers, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see 2D platformers go by the wayside. I do want to see new ones. I don't just want to have to rely on the formula of Super Mario and Donkey Kong, maybe Sonic the Hedgehog, all the ones we know and love. I do want to see new ideas come into play like this and stuff like that, which is why Ori was such a breath of fresh air. I loved Ori. I love Hollow Knight, stuff like that. But Hollow Knight's more of a Metroidvania, also platformer. But just platformers like this that aren't Metroidvanias, I'd still love to see get a spotlight. This is where I've got the swap ability now, so I get to tag something like that there, and then swap my position with it, so I can get through this sort of narrow pathway here. But it's not all that we use it for. We will use it for other ideas, such as to defend ourselves against some form of attack that you'll see in a bit. But first and foremost, it's getting me used to that ability, so I do have to swap it out of the way just so I can navigate myself through narrow parts like this here. It's a really cool feature. It does have a lot of potential to do a lot of things with it, and it's surprising the amount of stuff you can actually swap with. Like, you think it's probably just going to be small barrels and stuff like that, but eventually you will swap with sort of larger pipes and stuff like that. I fully advise you check out the Steam page, by the way. There's a couple of short video clips on the description in that Steam page that shows you some really, really good examples of how to use the swap and what you'll be using the swap ability for in the full game. So check it out. Again, it's in the description. Check it out. This is a cool bit here. Look, you have to make yourself go a bit higher so that you can do a roll jump and perform and get to the next platform. Really, really cool ideas. I think I die here. Not ashamed to admit, I think I do die at this point. But it's a cool puzzle. You have to get through it really quickly. I panicked, hit the laser, dead. Try again. It's really generous with where it puts you as well. If you die, you respawn. I was very lucky to survive that. If you die, you respawn very close to where you died. So it's very, very forgiving in that sense, which I welcome. I don't play a huge ton of games these days. I am finding myself playing more and more games now, though. But I very much consider myself a fringe gamer. So not much of a hardcore gamer, quote unquote, if that still is a thing. So I do like the fact that I can play through this fairly casually and not have to worry about, dying too much, because it will just put me back somewhere very, very close to where I died and just carry on. I do have Elden Ring in my Steam library, but I'm yet to try that game because I'm just not ready to do it. that's a pretty good puzzle there. You have to swap out for that chunk of pipe so that you block the laser. And you'll see another similar kind of puzzle here, which is pretty cool. Got that completely wrong the first time and died. But just a moment of thought. And then you can get through this puzzle. It's pretty clever. Yeah, there are, like I said, loads of ways you can use this swap ability to your advantage that I'm looking forward to seeing how they build that into the full game. So I'm looking forward to when it comes out. I'm not sure when its full release is supposed to be, but it's on my wish list now on Steam, so I'll keep my eye on it. And if there's any more gameplay to be done, I'll be sure to make another video on it. But at the moment, I just really enjoyed playing through this demo. It's quite a lengthy demo, especially if you die multiple times like myself. You'll easily spend at least 30 to 45 minutes playing through this demo. Easily enough time to decide if you like it or not, but I'm sure you will if you like this kind of game. Another great use of that swap ability there, getting past that boulder to go downwards into that small kind of area, that narrow area. But you'll see a lot of that in this this demo run. I had a lot of fun with it. Hopefully you'll have a lot of fun with it too. I've rambled on long enough now. I really appreciate you watching this video, guys. So take care of yourselves, have a great day, and enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Hey good peeps, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see, and also catch me live on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday and every other Friday, 8 PM UK time. I'll see you there. Back to the video.